I came home after a 36-hour shift. My key didn't work. Then her mother asked for $25,000. The key didn't fit. I stood there in front of our apartment door, my door, after a brutal 36-hour shift at the data center, so exhausted I could barely stand. My brain was foggy, my limbs felt like wet sandbags, and all I wanted was a hot shower, a quiet room, and maybe 6 hours of uninterrupted sleep. Instead, I was standing there jiggling a key that no longer turned. It wasn't broken. It had been replaced. I tried again. Slower. Firmer. Tilted the handle. Nothing. Not even a click. Then my phone buzzed. I thought maybe it was Emily, my wife, saying she accidentally locked the top latch or something. But it wasn't her. It was her mother, Cheryl Walker. And the text read, "We need $25,000 for our anniversary trip. Today." No, hi Michael. No, how are you? Just a demand, like I was her bank and she was short on rent. Before I could even respond, another message came through. Emily's asleep. She doesn't want to see you right now. Stop causing problems. Family supports each other. I stared at the screen, the cold Denver wind slicing through my shirt. My backpack slipped off my shoulder. My key was still clutched in my fingers, but now it felt like a joke. I knocked. Once. Twice. Harder. No answer. Just silence behind the door. The door to the home I paid for. The one I furnished. The one with my name on the lease. My phone buzzed again. "You're being dramatic. You're making this harder than it needs to be." I slumped to the floor. Not because I gave up. Because I physically couldn't stand anymore. The concrete was freezing against my back, and my fingers were numb, but all I could feel was rage. Quiet, buried, dead cold rage. I opened the banking app. Joint account. Nearly empty. The money I earned gone. The savings I'd built for emergencies, for a home, maybe for a future kid, vanished. Transactions in the thousands. $1,500, jewelry $3,200, luxury hotel $1,200, clothing $5,000, medical transfer to Cheryl $3,800. Down payment for a vacation rental in Napa Valley. I wasn't a husband. I was an open wallet with a weak password. Hours passed. I sat there, numb, shaking, my heart in my throat. Then, sometime before dawn, the door finally creaked open. I looked up. My lips cracked from the dry air. There she was, or at least, her hand. Emily didn't look at me. She didn't speak. She just placed a plastic food container on the concrete next to me. Cold spaghetti, clumped and soggy. A sticky note on top, "Your dinner." Then she closed the door. No eye contact. No explanation. Nothing. Just leftovers. Like I was a stray dog on the porch. That was the moment something in me flipped. I didn't yell. I didn't break the door down. I didn't cry. I pulled out my phone and began checking everything. First, closed the joint account. Second, canceled the lease. My name was the primary. She could explain that to the landlord. Third, towed the car. The one she always drove. I paid for it. It was parked downstairs. I didn't leave a note. Didn't knock again. I got in the car, pulled out of the parking lot, and left behind everything. But I wasn't running. I was regrouping. At Red Pine Inn, a cheap little motel with flickering neon lights and paint-chipped walls, I sat on the bed with the heat blasting and my phone buzzing like a bomb. 52 missed calls. Half from Emily. The rest from Cheryl. A few unknown numbers. Then a voicemail came in. "This is Travis McConnell, legal representative from Westbrook Legal. Please contact us immediately regarding a pending matter involving your wife." I played it 3 times. Then I smiled. They were already getting lawyers involved, which meant they thought I was going to fight them. Good. Let them panic. They had no idea who they were playing with. I logged into my work laptop. I'm a senior network engineer, basically the guy companies call when their systems fall apart and no one else knows how to fix it. But tonight, I wasn't fixing anyone else's problems. I was leveraging access I built myself. Old logins. Linked accounts. Security holes they never patched, because I was the one who set it up. I found Emily's old Gmail. Still tied to the recovery backup I added years ago. The password? Still the same one I created for her when we moved in together. I was in. And what I found. That was the moment the fire inside me turned to ice. Threads with her mother, laughing about how easily they drain me dry. "He has no clue. Make sure he pays for everything. He owes you for wasting your 20s. He's still working doubles? Perfect. Book the resort for the 14th. Spot 2. Then the real bomb. An email chain with Travis McConnell, their lawyer. Draft separation documents. My name. Her name. A proposal for full spousal support. Half of my assets. Ongoing maintenance payments. She wasn't just trying to leave. She was trying to destroy me financially. I stared at the document and felt my jaw clench so tight I heard it pop. But I didn't lose control. I took control. From her account, I sent one reply. Travis, I've changed my mind. Let's hold off on any legal action. I'll discuss directly with Michael this week. Thanks for your patience. Then I set up an email filter. Any new messages from Travis would be moved to an archive folder she never checks. Next, I opened our shared cloud drive. Thousands of pictures. Trips I never went on. Fancy dinners I never ate. Laughing selfies with men I didn't recognize. Flirty messages. Screenshots. Private videos. A folder labeled proof. I downloaded everything. Then, almost as an afterthought, my phone rang. Cheryl. I answered. Said nothing. Hello? Hello? Are you listening or just pouting again? I stayed silent. She continued. This tantrum of yours is pathetic. You think anyone cares if you cry in a motel? You're nothing. My daughter wasted her life on you. I hit record. She deserves someone better. Someone who actually makes money. You were lucky she stayed as long as she did. You're replaceable. Still silent. Still recording. Send the $25,000 or I swear I hung up. Saved the file. Named it Cheryl_unfiltered.wave. They thought they could lock me out. They didn't know I built the system they live in. They thought I'd crawl back. They didn't realize I had nothing left to lose. Which means I finally had everything to gain. By morning, Emily had sent 27 messages. I didn't read most of them. Just skimmed the first few lines. You really overreacted. Can't believe you'd take the car. That's petty. If you want to talk like adults, let's meet. But not while you're being emotional. No apologies. No ownership. Just a calm, condescending tone, like I was the unstable one for reacting to being robbed blind and locked out of my own apartment after a 36-hour shift. And you know what? That's when it all finally clicked. This was never about love. It was about control. She didn't want a partner. She wanted a provider who didn't ask questions. Someone to fund her life while she rolled her eyes behind my back and drafted up divorce papers between spa days. But now? Now they realized I wasn't just walking away. I was taking everything with me. I spent that afternoon laying groundwork. Step 1. Freeze all credit. Joint cards, hers, mine, emergency lines. Gone. Step 2. Contact HR at my company. Told them I was adjusting tax withholdings due to pending separation. Made sure my next check was routed into a brand new private account. Step 3. Contacted my landlord. They were stunned to learn Emily had changed the locks without informing the leaseholder, and they were even more stunned when I terminated the contract and told them to expect a vacate notice within the week. Let her explain that mess. Then I made one more call. To a friend I hadn't spoken to in years. Jordan Powell. Used to work in cybersecurity with me. Quiet guy. Smart as hell. Got fired once for hacking his own boss to expose embezzlement. He owed me a favor. Jordan, I said. You still good with remote trace pulls? Depends. What am I looking at? My soon-to-be ex-wife. I need to know who she's been spending my money on. He chuckled. No judgment in his voice. Just curiosity. Oh, one of those. One of those. By that evening, Jordan had sent me a spreadsheet. It wasn't pretty. 3 different guys. Not all at once. She rotated them like outfits. 2 of them were married. One of them worked at the gym I paid for. There were screenshots. Flirty messages. Hotel bookings, not even discreet ones. She was that comfortable. And the worst part? They talked about me like I was an inconvenience. He's gone most nights. If I'm lucky, he crashes at work and I get the whole bed. He's such a nerd, he doesn't even notice when I'm gone. They called me safe. Predictable. A placeholder. I wasn't heartbroken anymore. I was locked in. At 9:43 p.m., I texted Emily. Let's talk. Your mother can come too. She replied within 10 seconds. Finally. Red Pine Diner, 10:30? I sent back one word. Sure. Then I called Jordan again. Think you can reroute an audio stream through Bluetooth if I sync my phone to the diner speakers? Why? Because I want everyone to hear exactly what kind of daughter Cheryl raised. We met at the diner. It was mostly empty, a few tired servers, one cook, and an older couple in the back arguing about whose turn it was to drive. Emily looked polished. Too polished. Makeup flawless. New coat. Probably bought with my card. Cheryl sat next to her like she was royalty, smug, composed, totally unaware. Let's not drag this out, Cheryl said, sipping coffee. We both know this can go 2 ways, ugly or simple. I nodded slowly, leaned back in the booth. Then let's go ugly. Emily blinked. Cheryl leaned forward, narrowing her eyes. Excuse me. You locked me out. You drained my account. You tried to gut me in court. You've been screwing around behind my back. And now you want 25 grand? I turned on Bluetooth from my phone, synced it to the diner speaker system, hit play. Cheryl's voice, clear as a bell, poured out. This tantrum of yours is pathetic. You think anyone cares if you cry in a motel? You're nothing. My daughter wasted her life on you. People turned. A few chuckled. A waitress dropped a spoon. Emily's jaw dropped. Cheryl went white. You recorded me? She hissed. I archived your entire inbox too, I said, including the messages between you and Travis, and the ones between you and your little boyfriends. Emily stood up so fast her chair skidded back. You're insane. I didn't flinch. No, I just finally stopped being quiet. Cheryl threw a wad of cash on the table and stormed out. Emily followed, screaming something about lawsuits and invasion of privacy. I sat there, alone, finished my coffee. The cook clapped once from the kitchen. Hell of a soundtrack, man. I nodded, then walked out without saying a word. Because now the real work began. After the diner scene, I disappeared. Not like moved away disappeared. I mean, I made myself invisible to them. No texts, no calls, no online posts, no movement. I even left the Red Pine Inn and couch surfed at Jordan's for 2 weeks while I cleaned everything up. I let them sit in the silence. Because the longer you give people room to get comfortable, the harder they fall when you rip the rug out. And trust me, I wasn't done yet. Emily assumed I was defeated. Her texts, when they came, were laced with fake softness. Let's be civil. I don't want this to get nasty. I still care about you, Michael. Every message was like a shark in lipstick. I ignored her. But I wasn't ignoring the court system. Turns out when you're the one who controls the lease, the utilities, and 90% of the finances, you hold the cards. So I filed first. In a new county. With a new attorney. On my terms. No fault, clean separation. With a caveat. I attached over 400 pages of financial activity, screenshots, audio files, and cloud-stored evidence showing intent to defraud, financial abuse, and misconduct in marriage. It wasn't just a divorce. It was a paper trail of war. Jordan helped me file a data breach report too. Nothing too crazy, just enough to trigger a soft investigation into a few of Cheryl's shady money transfers. One of her businesses had been listed as an event company, but its records were suspiciously empty. Fake invoices. Weird round numbers. All flagged by the system. We made sure they got red flagged. Let the IRS enjoy that little trail. Then came the property. She thought I'd just give it up. What she didn't know? The car? Not in her name. The couch? My name. The appliances? Bought on a business account. Receipts still sitting in a shared folder she thought I forgot about. The condo? Rented under my company for tax purposes. Everything they used to lock me out was actually mine. So I showed up with the landlord, the sheriff, and 3 movers. Emily wasn't home. Cheryl was. She opened the door in slippers and a bathrobe, holding a smoothie like she owned the place. What the hell is this? I didn't answer. The officer did. Ma'am, you have 30 minutes to remove your personal items. The primary tenant is reclaiming possession. She screamed, swore, called me a monster, said she'd sue. The sheriff just shrugged. You're lucky he's not pressing charges. They left with 2 bags. I left with everything else. And I mean everything. I even had Jordan print a 36 by 24 photo of Cheryl's $25,000 trip to Napa confirmation email, the one with the spa packages and anniversary couples massage. I framed it, hung it in the kitchen. Petty? Sure, but therapeutic as hell. The next few weeks were quiet. Too quiet. Then I got the email. From Westbrook Legal. Ms. Emily Davis has declined to continue divorce mediation. We have received notice she may pursue formal litigation. I expected it, but I was ready. Because what Emily didn't know, what Cheryl never knew, was that ID already filed for protective financial partition. That meant anything I earned after the date I filed? Off limits. Everything I reclaimed? Protected. All the evidence I collected? Submitted. All I had to do now was wait and let them swing at the air. 2 months later, I got the court ruling. Divorce finalized. No alimony. No asset claim. No spousal support. And Cheryl? Her account was now under audit. She tried to threaten, plead, even offer to settle quietly. But I wasn't interested in money anymore. I just wanted them to remember me. Not the doormat they used, but the man who let them dig their own grave. And watched from above, quiet, cold, and smiling. I never posted about the divorce. Never changed my relationship status. Never dropped a cryptic quote. Never made some dramatic declaration about betrayal or healing. I just logged off. That was the win silence. But Cheryl couldn't handle silence. And neither could Emily. Because when they can't control the situation, they rewrite it. And that's exactly what they did. It started small. A post from Cheryl's Facebook account. One of those pity bait types with pastel backgrounds and big letters. You give everything for someone, and they throw you out like trash. Prayers for healing. Dozens of likes. Replies. The classic crowd. You're so strong. He didn't deserve you. God sees everything. Then came the whispers. One of Emily's old friends, someone we used to double date with, messaged me out of nowhere. Hey, I'm not trying to start anything, but Emily's been telling people you cheated, that you emptied her account and left her with nothing. I didn't even flinch, because I knew the part was coming. They weren't just losing, they were losing control. The next week, a post showed up on a local wives Facebook group. Anonymous, but thinly veiled. What do you do when your husband hacks your emails, steals your identity, and weaponizes your money? Asking for a friend. Emily had always been dramatic, but this was tactical. She was building a story, one post at a time, little by little, turning herself into a victim before anyone could ask why the divorce was so one-sided. And the worst part? Some people were buying it. Mutual acquaintances stopped replying to my texts. One guy from work, someone who barely knew me, gave me a weird look in the hallway like I'd shown up on a list. They weren't even hiding it. They wanted to ruin me publicly since they couldn't do it legally. So I posted one thing. Just one. Black text. White background. Sometimes silence lets the wrong people rewrite your story. So let me be clear. I worked 36-hour shifts to support a woman who was sleeping with 3 other men. I was locked out of my home and asked for $25,000 via text. I paid the rent, bought the food, paid off her mom's car loan, and got served with draft divorce papers before I even knew we were in trouble. I never cheated. I just stopped being a fool. The people who matter know the truth. And the rest? They were never on my side to begin with. That was it. No names. No photos. No screenshots. Just facts. And within hours, it hit. Hard. I didn't expect the shares. I didn't expect the DMs. But they came in like a wave. Thank you for saying this. Same thing happened to me. I didn't have the guts to speak. You're not crazy. You're just awake. Even some of the people who had ghosted me, they circled back. I didn't know the whole story. I'm sorry, but I didn't need their sorry, because I wasn't looking for closure anymore. I just wanted distance. Cheryl posted again a few days later. Something about online bullying and people twisting her words. I didn't respond. Emily tried to bait me with a message. Hope it made you feel better to trash me online. Just know you'll always be that bitter, fragile man who couldn't keep his wife. That one? I printed it, framed it, put it next to the photo of her Napa Valley trip confirmation. My little trophy shelf of emotional clearance. They could spin whatever they wanted. The only people still listening were the ones they lied to long before I showed up. Me? I had a new place, a new life, a new number, and every time I opened my phone, it was quiet. And for the first time in years, I liked it that way. For a while, everything was quiet. No texts, no calls, no pity bait. Cheryl stopped posting her little Facebook sermons. Emily moved on to filtered Instagram selfies with captions like healing in progress and God removes people for a reason. I didn't care. Let her pretend. Let them all pretend. I was finally out. Until I wasn't. It started with a blocked call. I ignored it. Then it happened again. And again. 10 times in a week. Always around the same hour, late. Always just one ring before the call dropped. Then came the messages. Anonymous number. No profile picture. Just 3 words. You ruined her. I deleted it. Next day, you're gonna pay for what you did. Then one more. Meet me. Don't bring anyone. There was a location attached. The back lot of a gym I'd never heard of on the far side of Denver. I stared at the address for a full minute before it hit me. That was the gym Emily used to go to. The same one where one of the affair partners worked. So that was it. Her new boyfriend. The guy she landed on after torpedoing our marriage. And now he thought he was going to scare me. I didn't tell anyone. Not Jordan. Not Cassie. Not even Aunt Michelle, who had quietly stepped in after everything and offered a place to crash if I ever needed. I didn't need backup. I needed closure. So I went. But not alone. I parked across the street, hidden in a corner under a flickering street lamp. He was already there. Leaning against the wall, smoking, wearing some cheap leather jacket like he thought he was in a movie. I walked up slow. Calm. No rush. He looked at me like I was a bug. So this is the sad little husband. I didn't reply. He chuckled, took another drag. You've been making Emily's life hell. Thought I'd give you a chance to back off. Stop playing lawyer. Stop trying to expose people. I tilted my head. You're the guy from the gym, right? Doesn't matter who I am. It kinda does. Because I'm wondering if you know about the other two. That wiped the smirk off his face. What? The other guys. The ones she was seeing while she was seeing you. He blinked. Stepped forward. You're lying. No. I have screenshots. Hotel confirmations. A calendar entry labeled Jack's Thursday and another one that says Rick. Sat. You weren't even her favorite. He lunged. But I didn't flinch. Didn't even move. Just stepped to the side and let him miss. He stumbled forward, furious, humiliated. I dropped the last piece. Oh, and just FYI, your messages? They're being traced. See that guy over there? I pointed across the street. Jordan sat in his car. Engine running. Phone in hand. He works with the state. Cyber division. Not entirely true. But it worked. The guy backed up. I starting. You're insane. No. I'm just not scared of people who hide behind other people's pain. He left. Didn't say another word. Just peeled off in some beat-up Honda and didn't look back. 2 days later, Emily sent me a voice message. 12 seconds of dead silence. Then a quiet, strained voice. You don't get to destroy everything and act like you're innocent. You ruined us. I loved you. I didn't reply. Because she didn't love me. She loved what I gave her. And when I stopped giving, she found someone else. Until she ran out of replacements. I got a final text from Cheryl that same week. This is the last time I'll reach out. You broke something that can't be fixed. And someday, you'll regret it. I didn't. Not for 1 second. 3 months. That's how long it took for the dust to really settle. I moved into a new place. Signed everything in my name. Clean. Simple. No shared accounts. No photos on the walls. Just peace. For the first time in years, I could breathe without bracing for the next explosion. No Cheryl. No Emily. No drama. Until the letter showed up. It came certified. No return address. Inside, 1 sheet of paper. Printed. Clean font. Emily Davis is under active review for potential benefit fraud, identity falsification, and unauthorized withdrawal from joint accounts. You may be contacted as part of an ongoing investigation. I stared at it. Not surprised. Not angry. Just resolved. She played games with money that wasn't hers. She opened accounts in both our names. Forged a rental agreement. Lied on a medical form to help Cheryl qualify for a fake reimbursement. They thought it was clever. They thought I wouldn't notice. But what they didn't understand, I'm in tech. Everything leaves a trail. A few days later, I heard from Jordan. Audit just hit Cheryl's shell company. They found 4 flagged entries. IRS might get involved next. I nodded. Didn't smile. Didn't laugh. Just filed it away with the rest of my mental closure. Then came the last message. From Emily. Not a text. A letter. Handwritten. The kind people send when they're trying to make something stick. It was long. Rambling. Meandering through memories and soft words like, our first apartment, and your stupid flannel you wore every Sunday. At the end, 1 line stood out. I never thought you'd become this cold. I read it 3 times. Then I wrote 1 sentence on the back and mailed it back. You never knew me at all. It's been a year. I don't hear from them anymore. Cheryl deleted all her social media. Emily moved states, last I heard, probably trying to start fresh, find a new wallet to bleed. Let her. I'm not angry anymore. But I'm not forgiving either. I don't need closure from people who never offered honesty. What I needed was distance. And I took it. Quietly. Completely. Now, I sit on my own couch, drink my own coffee, work a job I love, and sleep like someone who doesn't owe anyone anything. I tell no one the full story unless they've earned it. And I keep 1 framed reminder in my hallway. That screenshot of Cheryl's demand. We need $25,000. Today. I look at it when I leave the house. And every time I do, I smile. Because they wanted everything. And now I have exactly what they don't. Peace. You ever realize, the moment you stop chasing people, you finally start finding yourself? If you've ever felt used, unheard, or invisible in your own family, just know, you're not alone. Setting boundaries isn't cruelty. Walking away isn't weakness. Sometimes, it's the most powerful thing you can do. So if this story hit close to home, drop a comment, share your experience, or just say same. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because here, we tell the stories no one else dares to. The ones that hurt, but also heal.